Hello teachers, my name is Weerapat Ratchaponsean, number 26 from M6 Today I'm going to be talking about humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan. First, let me tell you about what I'm going to talking today. First, I will talking about what happened in Afghanistan. Next is history of Taliban, and third is the effects of this crisis. And the first one is a personal comment, and the last one is how it's related to the crisis and unless and the hashtag diabetes in Thailand. The first one is what happened in Afghanistan. As you can see in many social networks, many news is showed that the situation in the Afghanistan now is very in bad shape because the America who control the securities of the country and bring peace to their people decide to withdraw their soldiers and their workers from Afghanistan due to some reasons. And after that, the Taliban, the group who fight America for nearly 2 decades, because of the difference in their belief, they have begun to take control of the Afghanistan by force in 10 days. And they strictly enforce the law of Sharia all over the country, and that made the people, especially the women, have to suffer because they use their law to control the behavior of the people, both in action and their mental. If someone broke their law, they will punish them brutally, and in the worst case, maybe the death of the people. Next, I'm going to talk about the history of Taliban. First of all, it happened in 1973 when the old Afghanistan, where I ruled by using the monarchies, was overthrown by the people. After that, when the group of the people fought for the power in order to control the country. And 2 years later, the new government was born. But this government treated people brutally and violent. And so some people say that they kill the people in order to keep them under control. And then in 1979, this year, the world is in the middle of Cold War. It is the fighting between the American and Soviet Union because of the difference in their belief. And Afghanistan is on the same size of the Soviet Union. And that time, Afghanistan was under chaos. So the Soviet Union wanted to keep the Afghanistan in peace. So they decided to invade Afghanistan and force them to change their leaders and their roles. Okay, and the result is the Afghanistan is in peace more than 10 years under control of the Soviet Union. But after that, in 1989, it is nearly the end of the Cold War, and that makes Soviets have to withdraw their troops from the Afghanistan. And next, Afghanistan have to face the same problem before the invading of the Soviet. That way, the group of the people fight each other to gain controlling of the countries, and that caused a forming of landlords to rule over each other domain in Afghanistan. So it's made the country was under the chaos again, and everyone have to suffer again too. The unrest continue more than 5 years until in 1994, a group of people called themselves Taliban. These people strongly believe in the laws of Sharia, which is one of the terrible laws of Islam that control both the behavior of the people and the mental of the people, and they treat the people who broke the law with violence, as I say in the beginnings of the video. And in the 1996, the 1996, the Taliban were successful in taking the control to rule Afghanistan. Everyone had them because they cannot be seized. The time had passed more than 5 years until the 911 accident happened. The 911 accident led America to decide to take control of Afghanistan by force because America found out that the Taliban were involved in the terrorists in the 911 incident, and America was done many great things for peace in America during that time. But now America decided to withdraw their force from Afghanistan. So that made Afghanistan back to the way it used to be, as the same as when the Taliban control. Next, let's talk about the effects of this crisis. As I told you, the Taliban is the group of people that strongly believe in the laws of Sharia, and this is terrible laws that control the people like that. And this law also oppress the women's rights. And because of the law, they believe it's make them grant women unequal rights when compared to men. For example, they changed the dress of all the people, all the women to be the same way, which is a black clothes that completely cover the body, as you can see, like this. But oh no, but okay, let's continue. They also force women to not study it, and like from these pictures, you will see that they divide class. They divide a class by using a certain course. They want to separate a man and a woman, and they also give more priority to the men. And the second is they eliminate those who dislike their religious teachings, and nowadays it's caused lots of death. And the third one is they use the violence to control the people who broke their laws. Like from these pictures, they use gun like that. And the last one is all of these situations lead some people to protest and immigrate abroad. Next is my personal comment to this crisis. First of all, I agree with Americans' withdrawal from the Afghanistan because if you look close at the Afghanistan history, you will realize that it's been more than 20 years that Americans support Afghanistan in fighting against the Taliban. But like you can see in the news, there are not progress at all. Personally, I believe that the reason of this is the people of Afghanistan are not motivated and not pay attention to their own freedom. They were just waiting the other country to help them. And one day when the other country decide not to help them anymore, they come out to blame other like America, but not yourself. They're not trying hard enough to fight them. You can see that after America left their you can see that after America left their government fall in 10 days, right? Moreover, if you look at America's side, you see that America don't get anything in return of helping them, but they lose both their money and human resource in assisting Afghanistan. The next one is how it relates to the unrest and hashtag Weerapat in Thailand. I think that there is a similar problem with this crisis in Afghanistan, that is Thai government for to manage the country in the many ways. For example, they provide low quality vaccine and it makes the more infected people and the pandemic doesn't last until now. They also increased the Thailand public debt more than every prime minister in Thai history. And they managed the tax that is inappropriate for the situation. For example, like they buy the sub machine in these situations, pandemic. And they also treat people who protest with violence, as you can see in many news that like I can see in these pictures. Next is how it's read in hashtag Weerapat. Hashtag Weerapat was caused by the failure in the government administrations, and this country also make the people have no right to express their opinions that is disagree with the government, and the country did not give enough assistance to the people when they are in need, like in this pandemic, and the country also have the problem of the corruption in management, and it caused a lot of problem come next. And this country also give the financial problem and the work instabilities to the people. All of this leads people to leave this country. Next is about the interesting 5 vocabulary and 3 expressions. About the interesting 5 vocabulary, the first one is copdita. It means a sudden and decisive action in the politics, especially one result in a charge of government illegally or by force, like in this country. For example, sentence is he left the Paris after the coup d'etat of 1851. The second one is the protest. It is a statement or action that expresses the opposition to something, like in Thailand, as you can see in the roads of the Bangkok. And for example, like the new text sparked a wave of the public protest again. And the third one is religions, relating to or belief in an religions. Okay, I know you know what it means. And for example, like this is a religious argument for the immortalities. And the next one is the monarchies. I know what you know, like in this country, a system after the government by a king or queen. Example, and because the monarchy is losing the support of the people, the king has decided to share his power with the elected officials. Sound similar? Yes. And the last one is the overthrown. It means to remove a leader or a government from a position of the power by force. Example is the success in overthrowing the monarchies, but not this country. And about the expressions, the first one is it into a man. Stick it to a man, sorry. About the definitions is to show the resistance or fight back against the government. For example, you can't just stick it to a man. You also have to have yourself a plan. Okay, and the next is a give and take. I know what you mean. I know that all of you know what it means. It means that to accept the suggestion from the another person and give up something of your own. Win-win. Okay. For example, you have to learn to give and take in any relationship. Absolutely. And the next one is scorched earth. We use in the text the plastic. It is saying. Definitions are is a reckless, extremely destructive. For example, the government's scorched earth tactic finally crushed the insurgency. Oh, that's all about I'm gonna about what I'm talking today. Thank you, teachers.